Hi there, my name's Ash. This is my review of the Pure Highway 300Di in-car digital radio adapter. I bought it a few weeks ago from Halfords for £179. Currently it's only available in Halfords, however at some point in the near future it will go on general sale. Now I'm just going to show you what you actually get for your £179. As you can see, when you go through the box, you are greeted with literature. Nothing of any notes apart from the user manual there. Mine didn't include any installation instructions. Anyway, the next layer you get is the controller and the the interface units. They are the brains and the beauty of the system. This is definitely not an installation job for the faint-hearted. I really would recommend you get it installed professionally if you can. As you can see, the units themselves are not particularly that big. There's a picture of my hands, and you can see from my hands that these are very small. They're not obtrusive. The unit, the control box itself sits out of view. In my case, it's installed the other side behind the dashboard. This is a product that definitely comes with a lot of packaging. The aerial is well packed. This aerial is a glass mount aerial. It sticks to the outside of your windscreen with a one-time adhesive. So if you do want to sell the car or worried about damaging it, you won't. No drilling required. It goes through to the other side. You also get a number of wires. They all serve purpose of connecting to your car's ignition. There's also some extension cables for the USB and the line in. So what does the aerial look like? Well, as you can see, the aerial is not particularly large or obstructive. It's a pretty neat installation. It unscrews and unclips for when you're going through a car wash, which is quite handy. And as you see from the car from a distance there, it's really it's not large at all. On the inside, again, it is not noticeable. This little box there, and the wiring is all tucked out the way. I have my unit mounted in what would be the coin tray, my sensor console. You can mount it anywhere that you want on your dashboard, as long as the cable will reach, which it probably will do because it's a very long cable. This is the USB to plug it in. I have a memory stick plugged in. My car, the line in for it is actually in the dashboard, so I have a cable running from my control unit into the slot that you can see at the top of the picture there. The white thing below is nothing to do with the car radio, it's just a air conditioning vent. Okay, so the moment you've been waiting for, this is the radio in the flesh. Here it is in use. So as you can see, at the current point in time it's tuned to XFM. However, if you want to change the channel, it's very straightforward. It's very typically pure. You just twist the knob in the middle, and as you can see here, I'm scrolling through all of the stations that are currently available. I was on the hill in Portsmouth at the time this was done, so 4 multiplexes are available. No need to auto-tune or anything like that. The radio just finds the stations and it keeps the station list up to date on its own. To tune in a station, all you do is you simply find one that you like, push the button in the middle, and it tunes in straight away. It is as simple as that. It scans in the background for new stations, so you never have to update the station list, and eventually stations that are gone from the station list or that are out of area, they will eventually disappear too. As you can see, the display is very clear. If you select a station such as Absolute Radio 90s, which has a long name, then it will simply scroll across the screen. Very easy. To access the presets, press the button at the top right. There are 20 you can have in total. You just scroll through using the menu wheel. It's very straightforward. To select one, or to create one should I say, find an empty preset, then you hold the middle button in, and it will save it. It's as easy as that. It does come with some stations already preset, but if you don't like those, you can wipe over them. To pause it, it is very easy. If you want to pause your radio, you can pause up to 5 minutes. Press the pause button and you can see the ticker there with how much time's paused. To unpause, press the button again and it starts playing from where you left off. The return button then takes you back to where you are now. And if you want to rewind, it does so in 15-second increments. And again, to go forward is the opposite. So again, press it again, forward, I've gone back another 30 seconds there. And the return button catches up to where we are now. It's very, very straightforward. Menu button at the top left, we can select USB from there. When the USB loads up, you've got an option on how you want to play, so you can pick by playlist, by artist or album. I have mine set to random mode, so by pressing the tracks button, it's presented me with Holding On. I select that. So now it's playing, or will be playing very shortly, Holding On by Beverly Craven. When it loads up, the song starts playing. You get information scrolling across the bottom about the artist, the album that it's from, and any other information that is on the MP3 tag. This time, pressing the forward and back buttons will forward and back you through various tracks. So as you can see now, I'm listening to Morning by Al Jarreau. Press the menu button again at the top. You can also pick the iPod input, the auxiliary jack, and you can also pick your settings through there. Going back to digital radio, another turn of the wheel, and we're back to Absolute Radio 90s. When you take your key out of the ignition, there's a feature called picnic mode, which means you can still listen to your radio. Simply hold down the menu button to turn it on. Then obviously you need to make sure you turn on your own car's stereo for the sound to come out, and you then can listen to your radio without any keys in the ignition. To turn it off is pretty straightforward. Just hold down the menu button again, and after a few seconds it eventually turns itself off. And it can be removed from its cradle. It's very, very easy to slide out. This is why I have it in the center console, because look, no one would even know it's there. In the location that I was doing this demonstration, 2 BBC Radio Solents are available. You'll see when I click the wheel, they stay in the same position. Now this is because there is a version in Bournemouth and a version in South Hampshire. The highway doesn't tell you which multiplex you're listening to, so sometimes when Radio Solent broadcasts split programming, perhaps because of football, there's no obvious way of telling which version you're listening to, which is a bit of a shame. Now, as you may have noticed, I like full height station names. However, you can go through the menu to display the scrolling text if that's what you like. It's pretty straightforward. You select info display and name and text. So as you can see now, we have the TalkSport name at the top. On the top right we have the signal strength and then the text at the bottom. This message isn't scrolling because it fits in the whole screen. And here's an example of it scrolling. So as you can see, it's very, very smooth. Now we're going into the menu to view the signal strength. So you can see the strength and the quality. The annoying thing with that is you can't view the station name. So I'm going to put it back to just having the large name. And there we go. It's as easy as that. One of the attractions to me for the Pure Highway 300Di is its fact that it can integrate with the head unit you have in your car. I really like my head unit. It has some great telephone features on it, so I was quite keen to retain those. When you run it through the auxiliary inputs, I'm not sure if it's a radio or if it's my input, but it's a bit quieter listening to anything through the highway than it would be otherwise through the radio or the CD player. You can use the FM inject method, but I'm going to stay clear of that because it is very good sound quality even if it is a bit quieter. Just showed you then that you can move the unit around, it swivels around in its holder. I still retain the use of my CD player. On my car, the disc button tabs between the auxiliary input and the CD player. I haven't said much about reception, but I will say this, it's a very good aerial that's supplied. You'll be able to get any station that you're officially supposed to, and you'll get some very useful fringe coverage as well. A very good aerial from Pure, a lot better than any other aerial I've seen from them. I'm just going to finish by giving a special mention to Accutech in Winchester. I've used these guys for my last 3 car installations. They're very professional. Even though Halfords do offer an installation service, personally I wouldn't want them anywhere near my car, but if you're in the area I would recommend Accutech. Well, thank you for watching my YouTube video. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, please leave them on the comments page for me, and I'll try and get back to you in due course. Otherwise, thank you very much and goodbye.